the new part of WDEA. Janet Sanford is coming up, I see. Sure. The LoadPass uniform truck permitting system that has really changed a lot of dynamics in the last 12 months. Janet?
Thank you, Daryl. My name is Janet Sanford, and I am the permit operator for the LoadPass permit system for Western Dakota Energy Association. You probably don't know it as LoadPass. It's been recently rebranded as LoadPass. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But first of all, I'd like to give you a little background on our permit system. A lot of you may not even know we run a truck permit system. And if you do, I'm sure you might wonder how this got started, how we got here, where it began. In 1984, the North Dakota Association of Oil and Gas Producing Counties, as a service to their membership, started a permit system for oversized and overweight trucks on county roads, township roads, and some city roads now. It's been going for over 30 years, and it is monitored by the sheriffs, county commissioners, road superintendents in all of the counties that we work with. In 1995, that permit system was made into a uniform system. Before that, all of the different counties had their own regulations, their own fees, and the association just took care of the administration of the system. So we became a uniform system in 1995. In 2010, an e-permit system was developed, and so we ran with a self-issue paper permit that was originally set up and an e-permit system simultaneously for a few years. In 2012, the communication system was created. We needed a way to get the word out whenever a road was closed or a load restriction was put on a road. And so the counties needed a way to get this information out. So we set up a communication system for the users out there to sign up. And so anytime anything was changed on a road, the status was changed on a road, either a restriction taken off or a restriction put on, they would be able to get a text or an email that would be sent out to them in almost real time. And that has been really popular. We have over 13,000 people signed up to receive those notifications right now. In 2015, we added a restricted road map so that our users would be able to take a look at this map and see what the load restriction was on each of the roads that they planned on traveling on. And this has been a big addition to our system as well. We discontinued the paper permits in 2015, and now we run as an e-permit system only. We added an ACH payment option for the users. They can pay with credit card or ACH now. And we added an ACH payment for the communities that we pay at the end of the month. So the counties that are members in our system, they receive an ACH at the end of the month for the permits that were sold on behalf of that county. We also rebranded the permit system into what we now call LoadPass permits in 2017. And this is our new logo and our new name. The type of permits we issue are, we have a graduated fee schedule for regular trucks and trailers, and it starts at $20 and it goes up to $110. We also issue restricted road permits, excess permits, and rig move permits. Rig move permits or give the company the permission to move that rig. Those rigs and all the units within the rig move still need overweight or oversized permits if applicable. Here's the number of permits that we issued in the last 10 years on behalf of all of our member counties. We currently have 19 members, 18 counties, and 1 city. This is the number of permits that were issued in each of the counties over the last 10 years. Of course, our big 4, McKenzie, Dunn, Montreal, and Williams counties issue the most permits. And these are the fees that have been collected in the last 10 years on behalf of the counties. I'm going to let Brent come up and give you a little information on where we're going with our permit system. We've been doing a lot of work, and we're looking at an expansion, and he will talk a little bit about that with you.
Thanks, Janet. Excuse me. Again, my name is Brent Bogar, and I work with the Western Dakota Energy Association on a number of issues, primarily with the LoadPass system, but also have worked with them in the past on legislative efforts. And we're working with the LoadPass system at this time to expand it in 2 ways. First is working with counties outside of Western North Dakota. We actually just presented at the Association of Counties annual conference regarding LoadPass and its ability to support counties outside of the oil and gas region, so all of the counties can have a uniform permit system for their systems, for their roads. And so that's one function that we're working on, and we're meeting with them, in fact scheduling meetings in the eastern part of the state to visit with those counties, as well as a couple of other changes. One was House Bill 1320, that was passed this session, and Jeff Simon does a much better job than me of explaining the details of that legislation. But it does require that if you are a participant in the uniform permit system, the townships also have to participate in that system. And again, it's all about uniformity, so that when an industry is moving through a region, they can go to one place and know that they have the ability to get from point A to point B, that there's one place for them to do that. And that was the purpose of the legislation, really, was so that there was some consistency for industry as they're working in these political subdivisions. As well as the law requires us as an association and the permit system to notify if we're going to make any changes to the system, specifically any type of fee changes. We do publish our fee schedule. It's on our website, so the industry knows that. But if we're talking about making any adjustments, additional fee permits, anything like that, we need to provide appropriate notice, just like any other public entity needs to provide notification for those types of changes. It also gave us the ability to do some enforcement of when we put restrictions on and notify. As Janet said, we've got over 13,000 people that subscribe to our notification system. So, and we actually had a case where someone claimed that, well, we weren't notified. And we were actually able to work with our vendor and prove that they received that notification. So it gives us the ability to enforce action against those players in the industry that don't want to play by the rules, don't want to follow the restrictions, and those are the ones, quite honestly, that are the ones that cause the problems and the abuse of our road system. We can now, as counties, townships, cities, can have enforcement actions in place. So that was a huge win for us as well. And change from the association standpoint with the permit system is we did update the bylaws that govern LoadPass to allow non-oil county membership and allow them to have representation on the board as they come. Obviously, they've got to be a member of the permit system to be on the board, but as we expand, we wanted to make sure that we have representation and voices from all of those that are utilizing the system. So as I talked about, there's the enforcement authority, and we can actually, it used to be that you had to go out there and put a sign up that the road was closed before you can enforce it. Now we, because of our notification system, as long as we've provided appropriate notification, we can say that that notification has gone out and we can do the enforcement actions. The next feature that we're working on within the system is the routable map. And this was a huge thing. The board approved this earlier this year, calendar year, actually right at the start of the fiscal year for the association. But we just started the development on this process to create a routable map, so as industry goes in, they can actually plug in where they're starting from and what their end route is. And just like when you're on Google Maps for yourself and you're trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B, this will actually design the route for you. Currently, the industry has to type in line by line the route they're going to take. So County Road 7, 3 miles north, turning east on County Road 12 for 2.7 miles, and then south half mile on Township Road, whatever. They would have to type all of that in. This is going to allow them to just basically point and click where the route is. It will designate that for them. We did approve a process in the permit system. Members agreed to the funding of this mechanism for us to develop that. We're out of the permit fees, and you saw, as Janet showed on one of the slides, the revenues that are going back to the counties. We are actually withholding part of that funding to pay for the development of this system. And like I said, the permit committee approved that action, and so that's underway. We are collecting those revenues, and it is, the revenues are matching what the expenses are, so we are continuing to move forward, and that's working out very well. So phase one is we have and are building our own GIS platform to put this map on. And we are working with a number of industry partners. We're working with Upper Great Plains, actually having communication. We saw the presentation earlier on the GRIT system, working with them, working with emergency services, working with a GIS developer that the state actually uses, a company named ProWest, the state uses. And so we have partnered with numerous groups to make sure we build the best system that we can for our members that allows for this process to go and forward. And potentially in the future, and I say potentially, meaning it's not happening today, but it is going, we're working towards, we have our restricted roadmap, integrating that restricted roadmap into the routable map. So if there's a road restriction, that route will actually avoid that restriction and automatically for the industry. Saves everyone a lot of time, saves our roads because they know that's restricted and we don't accidentally route them across a section of road or a bridge that has issues. And so that is one of the future enhancements that we're working on. Also looking to incorporate this into a mobile app for both our members as those that approve those permits, but also for the industry so that they can submit for their permits as well as pull them up. So if they get pulled over on a road, they can just on their mobile phone pull up and show that they have that permit approved and show that. So those are some of the enhancements we're working on. Looking forward to rolling this out. We continue to work on the development side and working with a number of our county engineers, road superintendents, so that we make sure we cover everything that needs to be covered in the system. This is Janet and myself's contact information. If you have any questions about the system, please let us know, or you can track us down. We're here all day.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.